Hey guys, this is Jeff on the Entrefied podcast tonight, and I want to talk to you about a very simple subject. I hope it adds a lot of great value to your life. But if you're new to Entrefied, entering into your success is what Entrefied means. We interview guests on the show, business owners, book authors, several different people we've had on the show. We also do a lot of personal podcasts. These are things that have to do with like habits and things that we've learned over time. I hope it adds a lot of value to this podcast to your life. But what we're striving for is to add personal and professional value to you. So let's get right into it. These points, a lot of these things that we talk about are necessary to find that next level of success. So guys, I hope you use this information. You can get our notes a lot of times on our website, entrefied.com. Entre means entering and fied means satisfied. And me and Patrick come together and come up with entering into your success, mostly about mindsets and business. But guys, here's what I want to talk to you about today. Action is what it takes. It's not thought. But first, you do need to determine what you actually want. I mean, that's important. So you have to identify and overcome. So if you don't identify what you actually want, it's going to be really hard for you to hit a target that you don't even know what the target is. It's kind of like putting a dartboard in a room, turning off the lights, and just taking a big old guess, and throwing the dart. So you want to identify what you want. That's point number one. You have to do that. And the clearer you can see the vision, often it's going to give you, that clarity to be able to see the different details of what you actually want to accomplish. So it's very important that you see your vision clear. Now, sometimes it don't always come into focus. I get that. But if you can at least start by identifying something that you want, and then you overcome the obstacles. And first, I'm going to get into this a little bit more, but I want to just talk with you just for a minute. There's this idea that every dream is going to be easy, or when everything works, it's just supposed to be easy. Most things that come in life that are a great success, they come extremely hard. And you're going to have to ask yourself, how bad do you want it? Because most people think it's just going to come easy. It doesn't come easy. Most things do not come easy. Things that are worth it most of the time take a lot of work. I'm going to get off of that track because I got a lot more to cover. But first, identify what you want. Next, overcome the obstacles. One of the things I want to talk to you about is a new workout routine, actually, a workout mental routine in the morning. So you have a good mental workout before you get started. You might say, well, why do I need that? You need to put yourself in a state that you're going to be productive. You may say, well, I'm in a state every morning of being productive. How many mornings do you wake up and think, I wished I could just sleep in? I don't want to do this. If I could just have 5 more minutes of sleep, or I should have went to bed earlier, or I got so much stuff to do, I just dread seeing it. I dread getting involved with it. If you ever feel like that, then a lot of times you're not in the most productive state. I want to talk to you about that morning routine. So maybe this will help you. So if you're looking at the screen here, you'll see a couple points, actually several points I put on the screen. See if I can make this thing bigger here where you actually can see it. Maybe that's pretty good. It looks like it's pretty decent on the screen here. If you're listening to the podcast, that's fine too, but I'm putting up a YouTube video where you can see that as well. So 1, wake up. Next, grab a notepad, pencil, or pen. Take about 5 deep breaths. This is just kind of get you going, because a lot of times we're not really breathing normal or taking deep breaths during the day because we're so anxious or stressed or running back and forth. So at least start your day with 5 deep breaths. Just kind of get you going. It'll relax you a little bit. Now, a lot of people, they say a lot of different things. What I would say is just, you can recline in a chair. You can sit down in a chair. I mean, you could even stand up. You got to find out what works for you. I would recommend you sitting down in a chair, taking you 5 deep breaths. So you're comfortable. You can even recline if that's what you wanted to do. Also want you to use this time for random thoughts. If you have a lot of things come through your mind, sometimes that inspiration comes when you're relaxed. So grab you a notepad. Like I said, have you a pencil, a pen sitting there. There's a lot of great ideas that come that people don't ever write down. You don't never know what the next invention or the next innovator is going to come up with. And if you don't have a piece of paper, or she don't have a piece of paper, you may lose that idea. And you never know what the most important ideas that you have that are lost. So I would encourage you to grab the notepad. All right. Next, take a few minutes or longer thinking back to a point in your mind that you did things right, that you got it right, and you was kind of on top of your game. You felt empowered, significant. Imagine who you were, how you felt. It's very important that you see a clear picture. You may think, why do I need to think about something that happened in the past? Because our feelings are tied with our mindset sometimes. See, when you start feeling empowered, you start feeling better. You start thinking, hey, I can do this. I can get my day started. I can really accomplish something today. What changed? How you was thinking about something. So think about something that you was doing really good at one point in your life and how you felt and how you were. Once you do that for, I don't know, a few minutes there, taking some deep breaths. It's very important during this time that it's not really structured. You've already taken 5 deep breaths. But when you're thinking here and you're going through that time in your mind of how you did everything great, if you can take you some deep breaths, I think it helps relax you here too. After you do that for a few minutes, stop. Now I want you to write down what you're going to be doing today. Could be task at work, could be at home, it could be both. But write down what you want to accomplish. The next thing I want you to do is write down some things that you should do, that you don't necessarily do on a regular basis. Like, for instance, I'm going to go walk after work or walk before work. Or I'm going to spend some time studying in my area. There's things that we don't do consistently that we need to do. And I want to ask you, what are those in your life? What are the things that you really need to be doing every day that you're putting off, that you're not doing? Because, hey, I don't even get done the things that I want to get done or that I need to get done. I don't have time to do that extra. Yes, you do. Stop telling yourself that you don't have time. You have time to get done a lot of things that you don't do because there's an excuse of why you don't do it. I do it. You do it. Most everybody I know does it. But it comes down to how bad do you want it? And I want to encourage you here to do this. Write down some things that you really need to be doing that you're not doing. And it could be anything. It could be just taking some time with family. You keep telling yourself, oh, I'm going to have some time. I'm going to have some time. Make time. Make time for what you want to get done or you should get done. Next, be sure to write down times on these tasks, how long it may take you, Now take just a moment. I'm going through these really fast, guys. I'm going to try to recap them real fast, okay? But now I want you to take a moment to imagine yourself doing everything right today. Imagine what it looks like, what it feels like. You're handling difficult situations, difficult people, how you're doing that, how it feels, what it looks like I said. You want to empower yourself for the day you have before you. Now, that's basically the morning routine that I wanted to tell you about. So I'm going to recap this one right fast. Take 5 deep breaths. Wake up. Take you 5 deep breaths in the morning before you get started. Sit down in the chair. Next, take a few minutes or longer and think about a time that you was empowered, something you did right. Think about how that felt, how that was, who you was. Try to see it clearly. Now stop. Write down the things that you want to do today. Write down those tasks that you need to do. And as extra credit, write down the things that you could have been doing, that you wanted to do for a long time, that you've not done. Some things that you really need to do, but you keep telling yourself, I don't have time for, someday I'll do that. Write down some things like that. Next, I want you to take some time and write down on those tasks that you have, what time you're going to do these things. How long is it going to take you? Just write down, okay, this will take 30 minutes or this might take 10 minutes. And maybe an outline of time, like, I'll try to do this from 8 to 9. And that's it, guys. If you can try to do this, I think we'll have better days. Try to get yourself empowered before you get started. I think it'll help your day. I want to talk to you about something else real quick. I don't want to drag this podcast on and on, but often dreams require real work. And sometimes we have to change our mentality. Stop thinking it's going to be easy. It's probably not going to be easy. If it's like 99% of the time that you accomplish anything, great, it's going to be tough. If you want to accomplish it, you got to find out what it takes. And you got to find out if you're willing to put the time in. if you're willing to do what it's necessary. And sometimes the answer is no. You got to be real with that too. But identify what you want, what it takes to get there. Your brain and body is going to fight you and tell you, oh, you don't need to do this, or you can do this some other time. You need to stop complaining. Nobody's coming to your rescue on your dreams that you want to accomplish. Maybe you have help there. Maybe you don't. But the truth is, the person that's going to get you up is you. And you have to pick yourself up. You have to look at it. Hey, if you want it bad enough, stop waiting on somebody to bring it to you. You got to start doing a little bit yourself. You have to pick yourself up. You have to tell yourself, hey, I've identified it. This is what I need to do. I've got to start at least doing something. Stop thinking it's going to be easy. I'm telling you, I've already said that, but it's true. Here's the thing. When you suffer, it's going to show you what you need to work on. Now, here's what some average people do. I say average because a lot of people don't like pain. I don't like pain. We don't like to go through things sometimes that's painful, but pain shows you things sometimes in your business, or, when you're working through something like to get to that next level in your career. What does it show you? What is it telling you? What is that pain and that suffering that you're going through telling you about what you could do better? What you could learn? What are some of the weaknesses that you have? What is it telling you? Use the energy and shift your thinking rather than just normal. Oh, it's hard. I don't want to do that. That's tough. I can't do that. Think about, how can I do this better? What can I learn from this experience? Most people run away. They avoid it. They don't want to work harder. They want to find a way to get around it. That's average. I feel like that's average. If you're going to be above average, you're going to have to run toward things to overcome them, to accomplish them. Look, you can be weaker. I get it. We can be weaker. And sometimes we are going through troubles. Or you can be wiser. You can learn from your troubles. Stop looking at your failures as just a failure. Start looking at it as, what can I learn? What is this teaching me? What is something I need to know? What can I improve on? What is the pain teaching you? And here's another thing. We waste a lot of time complaining about things. Sometimes complaining is simply wasted time. Stop complaining. It's a waste of time. Deal with what you need to do. Conserve your energy. Don't waste it complaining. Here's another thing. Dealing with people is mostly the same. Find out what you need to do and don't complain about it. Find out how you need to deal with people, who you're talking with. It takes some time. It takes some time to figure out who is who and what you need to do. But here's the thing. Once you figure out something about somebody and you figure out certain things you don't need to involve them with, hey, don't be ignorant about it. Why should you learn the lesson over and over? I'm not saying close the door on people. What I am saying is sometimes people have to get to the point that they show you that they're serious. If a friend just keeps doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over, then you start to realize that maybe they're not as serious as, they're saying that they are. It doesn't mean you throw away the relationship, but it just means you're real. You have to start looking at things of how that person is actually treating you in that relationship. We have to learn how to deal with people effectively and do the right thing. I'm not asking you to do the wrong thing. I'm not telling you to do that. But start looking at how you need to shape your relationship. There's relationships that you don't need as close to you probably as you got right now. There's relationships you need closer to you than you have right now. You need to make sure that, you're thinking about these things right. I'm thinking about these things right. There's relationships you don't need probably in your life. And that's hard. It's really hard to look at that. But until certain things show up, you can only have a minimalistic view on it. You can't look at it as, oh, I can just be best friends when I hang out. They got too many issues. They got too many things going on. They're not willing to do anything about it. And it could be a lot of things. But I tell you what, you start getting close to that kind of attitude and that kind of mindset, you start having problems yourself. And you say, well, I need to be a friend. Well, yeah, I guess you can get in the ditch with somebody. That's true. And sometimes we do need to help people. I get that. But see, here's the thing. When you're starting to help people, are they willing to be helped? That's the next thing. And that's a lesson that I've had to learn. I've went through that. Sometimes you want to help people that don't want to help themselves. Oh yeah, they say they do, but sometimes them actions, they do speak louder than words. And I know this is kind of mixed together, but I want you to understand that what I'm talking about here, a part of your success is dealing with other people. Sometimes people they don't want to be friends. They don't want anybody really in their life. They've made that choice. And it's not up to you to decide when they're going to do that. It's not up to us to judge people. I'm not saying close the door. Maybe you're leaving the door open, but sometimes people have to walk through that door. And you can't always just open the door for them and drag them through the door. Have to make sure that they're willing to walk through that door, because if they're not, it's not going to last long term, more than likely. It has to be a mutual thing. It can't be all one-sided all the time. Hope you're getting something from this, guys. That is the question I wanted to ask you today, is how to thrive. Have this wrote down on the screen. I wanted to make sure that I put this on the screen for you. I got a lot of notes if you look at the video. If you get the podcast notes, I would highly encourage you to do that. Find out how to thrive with the people that you're around, the situations you're in. Here's the question I have for you. How can you thrive in those situations? How can you look at them differently? How can you use this time to be better? And as I've said, stop thinking about it's not going to be hard. Start thinking about, what's this teaching me? And what am I willing to actually do? That's the question. What are you actually willing to do? You can say, oh, I'm willing to do this, I'm willing to do that. But if you're not willing to wake up at 4 a.m. and it requires that, it's going to be tough. If you're not willing to put that extra hour or two in, and you're not willing to do that, it's a good thought, but it's not an action you want to take. It's probably not going to happen. You have to figure out what you're willing to do and what you want in life, and they have to match. You got to figure out what your head wants and what your heart wants to do and what you're willing to walk out. Those all have to match sometimes. Hope you're getting something from this guy, like I said. But I want to ask you before we leave, because I like to ask questions. I like to leave you with this. I've heard it said that someone could take your hand and win with it. How could they take your hand and win with it? Big. I'm talking about win big. How could they do that? Maybe it's time we think about things different. What are some of the things that you need to think about differently that you're looking at your life? Maybe it's your attitude. Maybe it's your mindset. Maybe it's your future. Maybe you think things is all over when they're just beginning, or they could be just beginning. See, a lot of things in life is our mindset, guys. It's how we think about things. Whether you're at the beginning or you're at the end, you're still here. You're still living. What can you do with what you've got? You may say, well, I can't do things other people are doing. They got other things that I don't got, or I don't have those skills. I don't have that anymore. I can't do certain things. What can you do? What can you do? That's what I'm asking you. Not what somebody else can do. What can you do? How can you make this a better life for you? You may be miserable where you're at right now. How can you make it better for you? I believe God wants us productive. I believe he wants us happy. I do believe. There's a lot of people, I don't know if they believe that or not, but I do. All right, guys. Sometimes survival means you have to get tough and use what others are throwing at you sometimes. Be a pressure player. Look for how you can rise above and use that energy to be better, to take action, and to thrive. I hope you've really got something from this today. There's a lot here that I probably didn't cover in my notes, but I want you to identify the things that you want to accomplish and overcome, but stop thinking it's going to be easy and start taking action. Don't have to be perfect action. It has to be action. You can't think your way into success. You actually have to take action and take hold of your destiny. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.